Okay, ready?
Yes.
Kelly.
Ooh, we're growling.
Yeah.
Penny.
Oh, that was good. Good job, Kelly. You have a good growl.
I do have a good growl.
It comes like from your heart.
Mm-hmm.
Mine just comes from the top of my throat.
I get right up deep
Mucus?
in there.
Yours is like soul bearing.
Yeah.
Mine is surface level.
Penny. Come to me.
Ooh, that was good.
Mm-hmm.
Look at you go.
Yeah.
All right. We have so much
Woo!
going on today. It's
Yeah.
exciting. So we have the author of the book that we're reading today and the authors of Black Sheep.
Yeah. So
talking to us for a minute, just for a snippet.
We did a quick chat with the girls.
Snippet.
Yeah. So we have Brynne Weaver and Alexa Harlowe.
I tried not to fangirl
I
the
know.
whole time.
We were
I was
both-
like, I'm so serious.
It was a little bit more like intense, our interview, because we were so excited about it. Like, it was not nearly as relaxed as it usually is.
Can you tell me your process of writing your story?
We were very like, hi.
We were talking to you right now. Gathering myself together.
Yeah, we were very excited about it.
Yeah. Okay. So, Kelly, tell us about your
Let's
wine
do our
first.
wine. Okay, so I kind of dropped the ball here because Butcher and Blackbird, there's a scene where they enjoy a Chianti and I assume that's kind of a nod to Silence of the Lambs because Hannibal Lecter.
Oh, I didn't even piece that together.
I did.
Oh my gosh, you're right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I was chuckling to myself. Uh-huh.
Wow.
So there's a cannibal scene, and
which is so I talk about this on the interview, but I've never thought I would laugh at a cannibal scene, and I
know.
did it this
There's so
one.
much stuff in here that you wouldn't think you would laugh at, but you do. So
Yeah.
anyway,
Just eating people
there's
is
like
funny.
a cannibal dinner scene, and yeah, because like in Texas Chainsaw, you definitely aren't laughing at the cannibal scene. No, it's unsettling. This is hilarious. Anyway, so I got some Malbec because Malbec's my favorite.
Amazing.
And this is one of my favorite, just middle of the road. You can just like wander out and get this. This is not a top tier Warner Vin 312 type of wine, but it is a delightful.
It's a number one.
It's Uno Malbec. It is. So it's down here. I mean, it's pretty much gone. But anyway, Antigua Winery and Estates Uno Malbec, Mendoza, from of course Argentina. That's where Malbec comes from.
Argentina. How do they say it in the accent?
Wait a minute.
Argentina.
No,
How do you say it?
Ghosty Argentina.
Argentina?
Mm-hmm.
Is that really how they say it?
That's how he said it.
Argentina.
Yeah, and then I said, "Oh,
Argentina.
is it like Barcelona?" And then he said, "No."
Argentina.
Which is where Malbec is from. A true Malbec will be from Argentina.
Oh, that's right. He did talk about that.
Okay, so anyway, and I love this bottle. This is it's a.
It is. I'll put it really
3D.
close. Look at this.
Yeah.
It's metal on here.
Mhm. And it's 3D. You can a whole sensory experience with this bottle. Woo!
Look at this. I should be like in video photography.
Yeah,
Ooh.
Yep, you totally should. Okay, so on the back it says. Yeah, I like this.
Here we go.
It has words that you enjoy me saying.
Ooh, does this say delightful?
No, but it has some other words. in
Okay,
here.
I'm ready. I'm listening.
Oh yeah, it has sexy words on here.
Ooh, I want to try saying them. Okay. Okay.
Antigua Uno is a one-of-a-kind Malbec whose luscious
Luscious.
black and red berry fruit is brightened by natural acidity and supported by firm
Everybody likes a firm anything.
but ripe tannins. The wine's unique personality reflects the outstanding quality of grapes hand-harvested from our vineyards high on the Andes foothills. Its smoothness and purity of flavor evince the gentleness of gravity flow winemaking.
Ooh, flow.
Gravity flow.
Gravity is not a sexy word.
No.
Let's just put that out there.
Gravity flow. But you could have gravity flow down your throat.
Yeah, but gravity pulls onto a lot of other things in life.
Let's think about it. Gravity flow down your throat. Okay. Aged for 10 months in French and American oak. Antigo Uno carries cedar and vanilla spice notes through a lingering finish.
Lingering.
In your mouth. Enjoy this exceptional wine with red meat entrees, perfect for this book.
Yeah, some cannibal butt.
That's not sexy.
I know it's not.
Grilled vegetables and semi-firm. Semi-firm.
Oh, no, we want
like
the
it all firm.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Oh. Tomato.
Anyway, that's pretty sexy description.
That is a pretty... How does it... Blowjob wise, how does it taste?
I mean, I already said this is like my favorite Malbec for like, you know, like just you can get this anywhere.
Give us the whole blowjob experience.
Well, I gotta do the whole... We're gonna do this...
I'm gonna... When you do it, I'm gonna be like, you don't do a blowjob like that.
I don't throw my whole head back when I taste it.
I just want to make sure it's going right to the back of my throat.
I have no problem getting it to the back of my throat. Do this to look at the color, which of course is a lovely dark color.
It's lovely.
Okay. This is a little bit darker than blood.
Oh yeah, I would say so too.
That's beautiful though. Okay, and I'm gonna do my hurricane thing. I'm gonna swirl my glass.
Surely.
I noticed on the video last week that you moved her hand.
It's fine.
She moved her hand.
Everything's fine.
Okay. All right. To aerate and get the yeah, that didn't work very well.
Does it smell?
Oh my god, it smells so good.
Okay, taste it and then I want to taste it.
It smells so good.
Okay, taste it because I want to taste it. It's like almost like someone eating like candy in front of you. You're like, hurry up so I can have a bite. Okay, I want to try it. You're like teasing me with it at this point.
Give it a good smell. You get a lot of cherry in the nose.
Okay.
And that does slide right down.
Oh, this is amazing.
Delightful. Would you say delightful?
I could like just...
It's real good, isn't
it smells good. It tastes good. Yeah, this is heaven in a bottle. Spitter or swallow? I think I know what you're going to say, but
it's totally a swallow. That's a swallow that whole thing down quick.
Whoop.
Yeah. Although I do like to savor this one in my mouth a bit because
like swish it around.
It's delightful.
Should I talk about mine?
Yes.
Wine? Okay, so it's called Sextant.
Wait, look at this right here. Their logo. That's a sextant. That's it. This little like machine right here.
What does the machine do?
It is it's like a... Does it say on the back? Oh yeah, it does. It gives you the definition right back here.
Oh, okay, let me read it to you.
Yeah.
Okay, try my wine. It's good.
Before you talk about it, you want me to try it?
Well, it's up to you. Do you want to be like surprised or do you want me to tell you what I taste before I taste it?
You did mine after I talked about it.
Okay. An old world instrument using sun, stars, and horizon to navigate across the open water. What is that? I don't understand. So it just sits on the water?
No, they use it in like they use it like at the like ship's wheel.
Okay.
Or like the captain will use it like while he's in like his chambers too, and like it's kind of like in conjunction with the compass.
Okay, so it just kind of tells you where you are.
Yeah.
Oh, it does have their coordinates on here, which is kind of cool.
It didn't give you any tasting or
or you can. Okay. Hold on. Move my mic out the way. Okay.
We can't hear you though. Wait, you didn't smell or do anything?
I did smell it.
Oh.
Okay, hold on. It kind of smells smoky to me.
Did it say if it was oaked or anything?
It's very...
It's very... I gave you a leather dress to wear.
Okay, let me try. It does smell smoky.
Smoky or oaky? It's different?
It's smoky. I don't know. I don't taste anything up front, which we talked about before. Sides, not much in the back. It's mostly on the sides.
What's your blowjob?
I would say this is like a thinker. If I would...
Would you leave it in your mouth?
I would hold it in my mouth and be like, do I want to spit or swallow this? Yeah, I don't know.
Interesting.
It's not as dry as I think Chardonnay should be.
That's
but we've
interesting.
had
We've
that.
had a few, like, oh my God, you know what I just did? I did this. I can't, it's hard.
It is hard.
It's hard when they're so full.
Mm-hmm. I like it full.
That's what she said.
Filled in. Okay.
I'm gonna smell. It definitely smells like Chardonnay.
It does, but it doesn't taste...
With like,
Like I said, it would like you would hesitate in your mouth for a minute. I'm like, I'll swallow it. Like it's definitely like a holding your mouth. If it was a blowjob, I would be like, hold it in and be like, okay.
it's a thinker, and then it's like how you feel about the dude. If you're not,
I guess
you'd be like,
it depends on the label of the bottle and how the bottle is decorated in order if you would spit or swallow it. I feel like I've had like downers on the last white wines.
In a couple weeks, we're having Ghost Daddy on.
He has a lot of pressure on him to pick a good white
he's
wine.
He's going to pick the wine for us. So he's got some pressure to pick a good one for you.
Yeah, good luck. Yeah.
It's on you, buddy.
Yeah.
It's on you, buddy.
Is it going to be a spit or a swallow? Who knows?
Who knows? Okay, so we're going to get into our interview with the ladies.
So please listen. It was just a little quick one. We just wanted to kind of talk to them a little bit about the book, and then we'll jump right into Butcher and Blackbird.
Enjoy. Brynne and Alexa.
Oh, I'm so excited for the next book. I had so much fun reading your book.
Yeah.
It was sold out everywhere. I had to go to 3 different bookstores because it was just sold out.
That's wild. That is so wild.
It's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. It's been a journey, that's for sure. It's only about to get crazier. So, yeah, it's been really exciting.
Oh, I can only imagine.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, as we're talking about Butcher and Blackbird, maybe we can start on that and then kind of, we definitely want to talk about Black Sheep too.
So we want to do Black Sheep too. So
yeah, we just want to talk about both. But as we're talking about that, how did you come up with the idea for this book?
This one was actually from a TikTok that I saw where there was like a pretty popular creator who was talking about red flags in books and green flags. And the red flags that she listed were some that I really liked. They were very dark romancy, and so I was like, "Oh, that's that's a bit of a shame," you know. Like, oh, some of my favorite like dark romance type like red flags. And then she was like, "And my green flag is friends to lovers." So I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna like mash those up and see where we get. And that's kind of how it started.
Wow,
that's awesome. What about Black Sheep? What was the like idea or inspiration behind that one?
Oh, there was like I see Alexis on now. That was pretty crazy. We started DMing on Twitter, actually. So like when we started doing podcasts just like not all that long ago for Black Sheep or any like interviews or whatever, that was the first time we actually spoke to one another on the phone, like with our voices. It was always like direct messages. And it was kind of a crazy situation that snowballed where we were like observing some things just out in the book community. And we're like, oh, wow, that's kind of like, you could consider that a cult. And then it just snowballed from there. And it became this really fun story. Like we just had a blast writing it. And it went really, really quickly as well. I think, Alexa, it was just a few months, wasn't it? It was like 3 months.
I think it was 3 months.
Wow, you wrote that book in 3 months.
Wow. And it like, Brynne talked about this, but it started off like a joke. I'm like, haha, what if we like, there's not enough female serial killers like in books. Like you got the Mindfuck series by S.T. Abbey. You got Wretched by Emily McIntyre. And there's like a handful of other ones, but there's always just like so many male serial killers. I was like, where's the female representation? Like obviously we know that they're the smarter ones. Like even like in the like the real world,
right?
Like they're like stereotypically and like scientifically most serial killers are men, but there has to be like logically there has to be women who are
they're just
serial
smarter
killers. And we're like, where's their representation?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And so we were like, haha, like, what if we wrote a book about a female serial killer who like targets cults for whatever reason? And we're like, haha, that'd be a really funny joke. And then we kind of like side eye each other through messages, and we're like, unless she's like, wait. And then she was just like, I was just throwing something around. Here's the first chapter. I was like, oh, so we're doing this. Okay, we are doing this. All right.
Well, I'm glad you guys did it.
And I remember seeing that first line.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my God. Because I have been a Brynne fan since, oh boy, like 3 years now?
I think it was about 3 years we met.
And we've been friends for 2 of those years. Yeah, and I think we've been friends for like 2.5 years. Which is funny because I met her because I fangirled over her other series, Shadow and the Reaping. So it was really funny because I read the first one and I was like, oh, it's a standalone. No, not a standalone. The second one hadn't come out yet, and I rudely was made aware of that at the hell of a cliffhanger that she wrote on that one.
Man.
And I'm just like screaming into the Twitterverse, and I'm like, oh my God, I need someone else to read this. Like, I need to talk to someone about it. And I saw that she had a Twitter, but she wasn't super active. So I just like tagged her, and I was just like, left it at that. And then a couple months later, she like responded, and I was like, oh my God. What? And then we started DMing, and she was like, hey, do you want to see like an arc to the sequel? And I was like, hell yes, I do. Like, is that even a question? Of course I do. And then I basically like live reacted to her book as I was reading it.
Yeah.
So that was fun.
Wow. And I think with like Bria, one of the things that we talked about was like Alexa was saying, there's not a lot of female representation in books for serial killers, or, you know, like a truly badass female lead like that. And, you know, we were kind of talking about just out in the real world that there's, I think a lot of people have probably heard this, that there are potentially like 11 or more active serial killers at a time who just haven't been discovered. So we were kind of thinking, well, what would set somebody apart? Because really there's sort of like a box of behaviors, right? Because there is sociopathy to consider, and there are things that they tend to do. But what if somebody really broke the mold? Like, what if she doesn't need to take trophies because she can remember them? Like, what if she behaves a little bit differently, but, you know, we still wanted to make her very much like you would get the sense that she was born this way. Like, she's born different, but she does have some like kind of capacity for falling in love, which I guess is not typically, you know, that's maybe the little fictional bit of things. But yeah, we just wanted to make her feel as though she is really like a serial killer. She really is thinking differently, and she really is smart enough to get away with it.
We love both of them.
How did you guys write Black Sheep together if you didn't really like talk and it was just over Messenger? Like, how did that work for you two?
Well, we talked over Messenger a lot. We didn't talk, you know, verbally on the phone, but we were constantly communicating. And it was like, Alexa has a really lovely way of saying it, and maybe I won't say it for you because you express it very well. You don't need me to say that. But like, I essentially did the actual like the writing bit of it. For the most part, I mean, there were parts where Alexa put like framed up dialogue and things like that, or scenes. But it's like a framing and then a writing thing. And I don't know, Alexa, you've got such a lovely way to express it. So
yeah, let's hear it.
So basically, I think this kind of the best way to start talking about this is that I think Brynne and I, we're basically very similar in the way we think, but not exactly on our thinking patterns. And by that, I mean, so like, have you guys heard of aphantasia?
Kelly was just telling me about that.
I was like, I'm so like fascinated by this and how this works in your brain.
Yes. So I didn't know I had aphantasia until probably maybe like 5 or 6 years ago, actually. And I casually stumbled across like a BuzzFeed article about like, and there was like this like image that says like, if someone was to tell you to picture like an apple, like a red apple, what kind of like, how far into like realism do you see? And I was like, I got a 0. Like, I look like my brain eye is like nothing. I got nothing. So like when I read books, it sounds like the inner monologue of my brain voice. is like reading the words to me like it was an audiobook. So like I don't see a movie, I don't see anything.
So you're just taking in the words and it's just like a dialogue back and forth.
Yes.
Wow.
And so like when I read like really descriptive like landscapes or settings or people's descriptions, I'm like, it goes in one eyeball and out the other. Because I was just like, okay,
that's what
like
it is.
I can't see what that looks like. So like all the fan artists out there, I'm like, wow, I love you guys so much because I can't picture it.
Like you really need that
So,
to help
like-
you with things sometimes, probably. Yeah.
Exactly. So like if I'm reading a book and it says something about like a yellow sports car, like I know what a yellow sports car looks like and I can like remember a time that I've seen one. But if it's like gets into like the fictional world of like, this is what that looks like, I really, really need like a point of reference because I'm like, I physically can't.
So
see
when
it.
you're thinking about the yellow sports car and you have that memory of the yellow sports car, does that picture come back in or it's just a yellow sports car? Like that's just like the words in your head?
It's not, it's like, I remember seeing it, but I can't see it. You know what I mean?
Wow.
I think the best way
fascinating.
that I've been able to explain it to people is that you remember like in the 90s when you had like a computer that had like the screen, the tower, and the speakers. So like imagine you're watching a video and you turn the screen off and you can hear like everything.
Wow.
But like picture it like, for example, I got really obsessed with like Twilight when I was a kid. So like I watched the movie before I read the books. So then I had a point of reference of what things look like. So that one felt like I was just remembering the movie, even though I couldn't see it in my head.
Okay.
And so like when I started reading New Moon Eclipse and Breaking Dawn, I had a point of reference of like Kristen Stewart as Bella and Robert Pattinson as Edward. And like, I could pretend in my brain that I'm like, okay, I think I know what this person would look like if they had to be on a motorcycle or like had to jump off a cliff or whatever.
I mean,
like,
and really,
I
Robert
understand what that
Pattinson
could
needs to be
feel like,
Edward.
but I can't see it. So it's a lot of like other senses are involved when I like read or like write.
Yeah, well, other senses come out. Like, can you like picture a smell, or does any of your other?
Yeah, basically. So like, one of the ones that I remember, like basically like framing, and I mean that literally, where like there were a couple scenes where I'm like, okay, I know what I want this to look like. I just don't know how to make it look like that. And so I'd be basically like painting a huge like picture. And I'm like, okay, broad strokes, this is basically like what I want to happen in the chapter. Here are some lines of dialogue. This is some of the things that they would be doing, blah, 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 blah. And so it would basically kind of be like an outline. And then Brynne would take it, run with it, and create like a whole chapter. And I'm like, oh my God, this is exactly like what I wanted this to look
that's
like.
amazing.
And it was insane. Like we were so like, we joke around saying that we're two halves of like a mega brain.
Yeah, that is a really amazing way to read the book. Like you are both
and the best
equal partners in that. Completely. That's amazing.
Yeah, and the best way to explain this is that while I can't see anything in my brain, Brynne sees things to a hyper extent. So like she gets to see things so much more realistic in her brain. It's like as if it's actually happening in her head. And I'm like, first of all, cannot fathom that. We've had so many conversations about how she can see things really well and I can't see things very well, or at all, to be honest. And so like, for example, like that first scene in the coffee shop where Elijah is in there and he sees Bria for the first time. I remember like knowing what I wanted that to look like. And I'm like, this man is dumbfounded from day one. And I wanted that to like be conveyed. And I'm like, he's just like doing whatever. And then all of a sudden he hears this voice and he's like, what?
Wow.
Who is that? I need to know who that is. And he's just like immediately like feral over this woman. And then like, I remember how I wanted like their like meeting to happen because obviously Bria staged that. Like she knew he was going to be there and she made it so he met her beforehand, and it was just like, I don't know, it was just so cool. But yeah, the best way to explain it is that like I put up the structures for some of these scenes, and then Brynne goes in and makes
so it's almost
interior
like
design,
kind of like storyboarding. Like
kind of, yeah. But we did really like, we didn't plot, I don't plot anything in advance. I just like go with it. So what I think helped to make things so much faster as if I was like kind of stuck on a part, you know, I was like, oh, I don't know, like what we should do with this scene, like we had a general direction of like what might happen in the next chapter or whatever, but never that far out. And then we could just, like, Alexa would go to yoga or whatever, and she'd be like, I had a great idea in yoga. And within like 10 minutes, we'd have it sorted out, you know? So it was like really lovely
that's
because
awesome.
we could bounce off one another and be like, I don't know about, you know, how she would feel about this thing, or how she would react with this, or what the next stage in this would be. And it's just like you can talk it out. And I think, like she said, because we are weirdly similar in some things, like even though we are on the like fully opposite side of the spectrum with how we see things in our brain, we say the most random things at the same time. So we're always like, same brain.
Wow.
So I think we were just really well aligned in that way. And when I mean random, I mean like we'll out of the blue like DM one another, and it'll be like, oh, did you see this thing on Instagram that's like super random? And like the same thought about it. It's just wild. So yeah, I think that just like really helped with the whole build of the book, and like how we flowed through it and how quickly it all came together was really a product, I think, of how well we were able to work together.
So when is the next book coming out?
June 4th. Yeah. So the next book comes out June 4th, which is kind of an insane like publication schedule for now that it's traditionally published. When I first published Butcher and Blackbird, that was a self-published. And then it kind of just like exploded. And I sold
really
it to
did.
traditional. Yeah, it really, really did. Sold it to traditional publishers, and they did what's called a crash schedule. Apparently, I'm learning all these things as I go. So it was like I signed the full, like there's like a sort of a short contract, and then there's like a full contract with all your details. So once that gets signed, that's when they take it over. And that was in October, and they had it out by December, which is insane. Like this doesn't normally
that's crazy.
happen in publishing. So even the like sequel to have it done by February 1st, and now they've got like 4 months to get it out, is kind of insane.
This was like my first dark romance rom-com. Like I never thought I would laugh at somebody eating another person. Of all things, it was great.
Just like the trigger warnings alone. I
Oh
was
my
like,
god, they were amazing.
Yeah, they're so funny.
Thank you.
You did a great job.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. There were really like, there were some bits in Black Sheep that were really, really like fun, funny, kind of not quite as like
Yes.
dark humor, but definitely like Fletcher, which was kind of Alexa's brainchild for that character, and how she came through. She was always super fun and like really
Yeah,
fun.
I loved her. Yeah.
And she was a badass. Like,
Yeah.
that was like my favorite part.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was amazing.
She was really funny. Yeah,
Yeah.
I liked her a lot.
Samuel was actually my favorite, but I think Alexa, you'd vote for Fletch, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure. I love her
Yeah.
so much. I just remember, like, I was like, he needs a really cool best friend, and she needs, and Brynne needs to feel like not threatened, but like jealous about it until she realizes that Fletcher is not interested whatsoever in Eli, and I'm just like that. I just remember being like, I need that to happen, and it's going to be so funny. And there were some other like scenes that we thought about on how to like have that come through. And I remember there was originally like an idea of Fletcher dragging Eli to a yoga class, and it just so happened to be the one that Bria was teaching. And I thought it was going to be so funny. It ended up not like working out with like what we wanted to do, but I'm just like, I remember like I was like thinking about how this would go, and it's just so funny because I have a really strong like yoga practice, so it's always fun to see like these big dudes just like walk into the yoga studio and they're like, I got this.
That's
And
awesome.
then they're over there like they're like trembling in downward facing dog because they're not used to holding that position, and it's understandable. It's not like trying to make fun of people who don't do yoga, but it's just interesting how they walk in, they're like, I got this.
Oh,
And
yoga's so easy. Yeah.
Aw.
Exactly, everyone thinks it's just stretching, but
Yeah.
it's not just that. But anyways, it was really funny. But yeah, Fletcher's my
I love
favorite.
her.
Oh, I I love her
Samuel
too.
is,
I was sending
Brynne's
one-liners to
favorite.
Kelly, like throughout the book, and just like dying laughing at some of the stuff she
she's
said.
the best.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of her humor came through from like my end. I was like, oh my god, what if they call Elijah Kaplan Cap, like Captain America, because he has a nice ass.
Did the Captain
I
America
was like,
line,
oh my
like,
God,
that's
this is
America's
so
ass.
funny. Yeah, and I was like, oh my god, this is so funny. And then you can tell like Brynne's love of raptors.
Yes.
Because of that one line, she's like, she's gonna eat you alive. Like,
She called him something else, like
man,
when he
it's so
instead of a cock blocker. What did she call him?
Taco block.
Yes!
Clam
Oh my god, I laughed so hard.
Yeah, we were looking
It was
up. I think we were looking up like all the different ones and like, you know, yeah.
we were just
Oh my
cackling.
gosh.
I was just like, I just remember texting her, like we were both looking up the list and we were just texting them back and forth, and we're like, this exchange needs to kind of happen.
Yeah.
Oh, it was
that
amazing.
was so funny too.
Oh,
Yes.
It was
I died
so
laughing.
funny.
Yeah.
It was the best.
And I did like the Velociraptor references because I also love Velociraptors. So
See,
That-
they really are the
that I was
best, even though they're
appreciative.
partly kind of like fictional. I know they exist,
know.
not quite the way they were represented in the
I know,
movies,
but they're-
I want to
yeah.
just like believe that they looked exactly like that because they're pretty
yeah,
cool.
exactly.
Yeah.
I love
They're
it.
rad.
Oh my gosh. I don't want to take up too much of your time because I know you guys are so busy, but I
Yeah.
appreciate you so much for doing this with us and talking about this book. I have been so excited for like so
I know.
long.
We were just like,
This
like,
week it was like a countdown to
I
today.
know. We
So
were just
thank
like
you.
Friday, like Friday we love anyway because that's when we record. But we were just like this Friday we were like,
Yeah, our two favorite books of the year. We get to
Yeah.
talk to the authors. It's like a dream come true. So thank you.
Thank you for having us. It was really fun. Really enjoyed it.
Yes.
Bye.
bye.
All right, now we're hopping right on into our book.
Butcher and Blackbird.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited about this book. I was holding up to this week to read this book.
Yeah, I wanted to read it so bad for so long,
Yeah.
and then we're like, no, we have to wait till we do the show for it.
Yeah. Oh, it was hard.
We kept texting each other like, cannot fucking wait for this week. Like
Oh, it's been a countdown all week long.
these are our two like favorite books from the whole like season
Yeah.
so far.
I know, women serial killers.
I mean, like everybody loves them, but I mean, like, yes.
This was the first dark romance rom-com that I have ever read, and it was so good.
It was so funny.
It was funny and dark, and I'm like, why
It
am
was-
I laughing?
It was
And I
dark, but also
laughing.
lighthearted.
It was it was so good. Yeah, so if you haven't read this book, I highly recommend it.
Yes.
Butcher
Like
and
even
Blackbird.
just like the trigger warnings were hilarious.
It was so Sloane and Rowan are the two main characters, and they're both serial killers, and then they fall in love, and it's this whole like love story of serial killers falling in love. It's great.
Yeah. And it is like Brynne said in her interview, like it's not an enemies to lovers, it's a friends to lovers. Like they're best friends first.
And it's a slow burn.
It is slow.
It is painful.
I'm like,
slow.
when are they gonna get together? And
Oh my gosh.
And it's a he falls first situation.
Yeah. And I think that when they finally do it, I'm like, oh my gosh, thank God they
Yes.
finally did it. It was
And
so good.
he is so fucking cute.
He is really cute.
Also, it helps for me that he's Irish. I was like,
Oh, and Lisa recommended the audio. So I listened to the audio and read the book at the same time. It was so good. Like, and I don't think a lot of audios are like that, but
'Cause
the
it's-
audio for
yeah.
this was amazing.
because it had like background noises. and
It
stuff,
did
too,
have
right?
background noises.
Joe Arden had the Irish accent. right?
Yep. But then it was the voice actors in this were so amazing. Like you could tell the difference between the characters when they were talking. And so
Did it have like the full cast of characters?
yeah, so they would change their voice. For,
it was just the two.
yeah, but you could
So it didn't have like 8 different people.
right. But when
Okay.
they spoke for somebody else, you could tell who it
Yeah.
was.
Okay.
But it was so good. Like I've never enjoyed like putting in headphones and reading along at the same time. But this one I really
So you
enjoyed.
read, because some people just like read fully as audio and don't have the book.
No,
But
so
you
I-
read and listened.
Yeah, so I plugged it in and I read. And there were actually difference from the audio to the book. There was parts that were changed, which I was
Yeah.
like, oh, this isn't the same as in the book. So that was
Yeah.
interesting to see what they changed on the audio compared to the book.
Yeah.
that was my nerd moment if I ever had one.
My nerd moment if I ever had one.
It is a really fun book.
Mhm.
Like, it's definitely a dark romance, but it is fun. So it's about two serial killers. They meet up. They have this annual game where they're like serial superheroes.
Yeah.
Almost. So they go after other serial killers.
Yeah, they are serial killers who go after like dirtbag serial killers.
It's great, and they have a great time, and you just watch them fall in love. It's like over a 4-year period.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fun. And Slow and Rowan.
And he's totally like infatuated with her from the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
And she's very like seclusive.
Yeah.
Right?
She's just protecting herself.
Yeah. And yeah.
It was very quick to get through. Like, it wasn't like I have to read this book kind of.
It was like,
moment.
when can I read it some more? Like, oh crap, I have to do real life stuff.
So, if you have not listened or read or listened, whatever you want to do to this book, please pause.
Whatever you want to do to this book. You can do whatever you want to this book.
Please pause and come back. Yeah. Otherwise, we're going to jump in and give you so many spoilers that you're not going to want to listen to any further if you have not read it.
It's so good.
It's so good. So, jumping in. So we kind of start out of when they meet, which is kind of an awkward spot for them.
Yeah, like
it was very.
I love how this starts. It starts right in just like.
It's very graphic to even start with.
I love all the graphics.
So she's in this cage with this dead guy that she has killed, and he walks in shortly after she hears the split.
Yes, so like the body's decomposing and the maggots are coming at her, and she calls it orzo pasta. She relates them to orzo pasta. It's great. They're like crawling towards her. And then he's there because he's going to go kill this guy. Also, he's on his radar. So he's trying to kill this guy, but she's already done it. Yeah, so she's trapped in the cage with this decomposing body. He shows up. He's another serial killer. But the guy that she just killed was murdering children. So good for her. Glad she killed him. John Wayne Gacy type of deal.
Yeah, he was definitely ready to be... So after their introduction, so he's outside the cage, she's inside the cage, and he's like, oh, I guess you built me to it, kind of deal.
And this interaction is so funny.
It is. They kind of just go back and forth between their funniness. So he finally does let her out after their conversation of going back and forth, and she goes to take a shower.
They both realize that the other one is a serial killer, a notorious serial killer.
Yes. So they both know of each other because they're just well-known serial killers. They're just smart and have not got caught. So she goes, takes a shower, and cleans up because she's been like, was it 3 days?
3 days. Yeah.
Stuck in this cage with just water. She's hungry and gross and yucky. And so she goes, takes a shower, and she walks out, and she just has a shirt on and pants, but no bra, and he is like glued.
His like internal monologue is so funny. He has like 3 sentences, no bra. 3 sentences, no bra. Yeah. It's just like, no
he's
bra,
just
no
so
bra, no bra. He's so
on.
dude, like, no bra, no bra, no bra, no bra.
Why? So my question is, why is that such a thing?
I don't know.
Like, what if we just didn't wear bras? Like, why would that be such a bigger...
You know what? But like,
why is that a thing?
Why is it a thing? And like, to me, like, I love my bras, but it's because...
when you take off your bra at the end of the day, though, it is like...
No, but it's not to me.
What?
Because my boobs weigh fucking 15 pounds.
See, when my friends text me, they're like, hey, you want to go do something? I'm like, I already took off my bra. They're like, never mind.
Like, when people are like, oh, just go braless and do all this stuff, I'm like, what? Like, I love to have that extra support and like help because they're so huge and so heavy. That's why I love corsets. I love corsets. And I also love the like cinching, but I like that like, I like that bondage feel.
Yeah.
You know? But I also love that it's like from below and doesn't have anything up here and it just holds you up.
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
Then I don't have any weight. Even me just doing this feels so much better.
Really?
Yes. Oh my God. Yeah.
Like, yeah, it doesn't... You know what?
That doesn't do anything for you? Me just doing this, I'm like, oh my God.
Not really.
And I accidentally slept in my full-on bra the other day because I'm so just like...
Who sleeps with a bra on and who does not? Because I cannot sleep with a bra on.
I don't do a full-on bra.
Rip it off as fast as I can.
I'll do a sports bra a lot of times.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Nothing.
You're supposed to... I mean, it's not good for you to do it.
Really?
Yeah.
Just let them free and breathe?
Sports bra's okay. But, like, you're supposed to, like... But also, like, what we talked about with Brogue the other day. Like, if you have a tank top on and you've got the big-ass titties, they're going to be in the kitchen. Because they just fall out and flop all over the place.
I don't care. I'm just like, I don't want to wear a bra anymore.
Well, yeah, but I mean, they just, like, they will not be contained. Like, you get a tank top on and they just
go their own gravitational
migrate
way.
all over the place. Yeah.
Mine are definitely not as big as yours, though, so maybe that's why. Yeah, because this doesn't do anything. I don't feel like difference from here to here.
Like, even with the bra... I do this and I'm like, oh my God, it
really
feels so good. Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna try it. Hold on. Regular? I wonder how much boobs actually weigh.
Mine weigh more than 10 pounds.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Jesus.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, mine do not weigh 10 pounds.
They're probably 15 pounds now.
Now I want to go like weigh them.
I don't know. Maybe like, hold on.
Mine were more than 10 pounds.
It's like less than a newborn baby.
Mine are heavy.
Yours is more than a newborn baby.
Mine are heavy.
Well,
you know what? Feel.
Yeah, come here.
Holy shit, Kelly!
They're heavy.
Compare that to mine. Just feel mine.
Yours are buoyant.
Holy cow, Kelly!
Yeah. Yeah.
How do you carry those around?
That's why I'm like, no bra, fuck, no.
They're
way.
like sandbags.
Yeah, I know. That's why.
Holy cow!
In 40-year-old virgin, when he was like bag of sand, and everyone was like, what the fuck? And I was like, that's not that far off, dude.
Like, Jesus Christ,
That's
Kelly.
what I'm telling you, dude.
You could knock somebody out with those things.
Yeah. I don't even know what we were talking about when we brought this up.
She wasn't wearing a bra.
We're like, why are guys like, no bra, no bra?
Well, he gets very distracted by her nipples and no bra.
So they go out to eat.
Yeah, they go out for breakfast. Because she hasn't eaten in 3 days.
Well, they go out for ribs.
Oh, yeah, that's right. It's ribs. Just kidding, not breakfast.
And she I don't know why you would ever take someone that hasn't eaten in 3 days to go to a rib place.
I know, but he's so turned on by it. And
she's like devout.
I love how we talk about it because it seems like a very cannibalistic way
to
describe it. I love it.
Yeah.
So she eats those, and he's not noticing the waitress kind of
giving the waitress is totally like, and I always like, you know, it's kind of funny to me, like this gets described in books a few times about how like they're waitresses who are like completely oblivious to like the girl who's with the hot dude, but they still are kind of like thirsty after the hot dude. But I mean, it's a hot dude, so whatever. I mean, it's nothing.
It's a compliment.
It's nothing against the dude at all.
No, it's a compliment to the woman, if anything.
No, nothing against that. It's just funny. Like if I was a waitress and I'd be like, oh, there's a super hot dude, but he's clearly with a woman, I would not try to blatantly hit on him. But
the girl feels, I mean, Sloan is like, yeah, he's hot.
Yeah. But to be the person to be like, you're clearly with somebody and I'm pursuing you, that's weird.
Yeah, that is a little shifty. So they decide.
It's a little shifty.
So after the boob stuff, they decide that they're going to come up with this game.
Yeah.
So once a year, they're going to meet together and to go after the same person, the same serial killer.
And Rowan's brother Lachlan will find a serial killer for them. So neither one has an advantage.
Yep. And then whoever kills him first wins the game. It sounds like a fun game. I mean, who wouldn't be into this?
So we're going to go right to the cannibalism.
Oh, yeah.
Guy.
The accidental cannibalism.
Yeah.
So, year 2.
There's so much good stuff in here with, like...
Oh, my... I love...
The manservant and everything is just...
I love
it. Everything's so good.
So, year 2. They're going after the same guy.
Mm-hmm.
And it's Thorsten. So, they're going after Thorsten. He's a cannibal serial killer.
Mm-hmm. But... Rowan hasn't figured that out.
Right. So it's just Sloan that's figured all this out on her own. She's done all the work. She's meeting him for drinks. Everything is going
and
great.
She's like pissed that like Rowan's kind of like
He's just following her.
like
lead.
following her, like kind of like shadowing her and like following in her like coattails, basically. Like, oh, he's just kind of like letting her do the work, and he's just gonna show up and be like, yeah.
Oh, I was here all along. What are you talking about?
Well, we'll tag team him.
Yeah.
I mean, why wouldn't you do that? You know.
Yeah.
If you're gonna be a shady serial killer, be a shady serial killer.
Yeah, he's got that down.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he goes into the bar that they're meeting with. He makes great friends with this serial killer that they're going after. And they both get invited to dinner the next day.
At his house.
At, what's his name?
Thorsten.
Thorsten's house. So.
And that's where Sloane's done the research. Like, that's like his MO. Like, he will befriend somebody like out to eat or whatever, and then he invites them to like a semi-shady dinner at his house, which what dumbass is like, yes, I met you yesterday, let me come to dinner at your house.
Yeah, it's so cool.
But that's what he does. Yes.
Yeah. But Rowan weasels his way in. He's really good.
He's
really
charmed
good
his
at
way
that.
in because, I mean, you know,
He's a smooth criminal.
he's a secret. She smooth criminal. So, I mean, she always calls him pretty boy, so he is like, you know, he's fun to look at. And
Yeah,
he's got the Irish accent, so, you know, and he's good at charming people. So he does, you know, successfully
He's good at what he does.
weasel his way in.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't be opposed if he weaseled his way in anywhere.
He can, I don't, yeah.
He
I mean,
can-
the term weasel makes it
Weasel.
sound...
We could make it sound sexy.
I don't know.
Okay, maybe that isn't
He
the
can
word.
charm his way into...
I don't even think charm is like sexy. What is a good sexy word for that? Insert himself.
Insert is weird. I gave you a hard time for insert last week. Arrow. He can arrow his way in.
That isn't
He can
sexy
glide
either.
his way in.
We need a sexy word for that. Glide is a good one. He can glide his way
He can
into
glide his way in.
it. That's a good.
He can glide himself
Yeah.
into anywhere.
So it's dinner time.
Yeah. So they're at dinner at Thorsten's house.
Yeah.
And his house is real weird.
Yeah. It's very fancy.
Yeah.
And Sloane at this point hasn't told Rowan anything. She's just kind of letting him flounder a little bit because he kind of threw himself in there.
He's kind of like not done his own research and just like
Following her lead.
her to find, because they don't know who the serial killer is. They're just in a location that Lachlan, Rowan's brother, has told them. It comes to find out, like, they're at dinner at Sloane's point of view, and she's like, I hope he's figured out what the deal is with this guy, why he's the serial killer.
Because he keeps offering them drinks and drinks.
And so she's
drinks.
like, I hope he's figured out between last night and tonight, like, what the deal is with this guy. Like, obviously, this is our dude.
Yeah.
We try to have a conversation with our eyes.
A car crash and a half.
Yes, and the manservant guy is also...
Yeah, so David, he's a manservant.
A
He got
situation.
lobotomized.
Yes.
Scrambled brain. Scrambled eggs. Whatever you like to say.
Yes.
He's all messed up in the frontal
he's
lobe.
all like, and this Thorsten guy is like proudly telling them like, oh, he can't talk. Like, don't worry about him. He's just there. Like, he's like proudly telling them that he's like a lobotomized manservant. And then just
Rowan keeps drinking.
things go on. And
Keeps drinking.
then he opens another bottle of wine, and Rowan's like, this is the wine I'm not going to want to drink.
Yeah, but he drink. They bring out
Or
goat.
not Rowan, Sloane. Did I say Rowan?
Yeah.
Sloane says, this is the wine I don't want to drink.
Yeah. So they bring out goat cheese and crackers, and she's like, okay, this
She's
is
like,
safe.
this is okay. Yeah, and then you know, like, as she talks about the food.
Yeah, you're like, something's going on.
Oh, yeah, and
here.
Rowan's a chef also.
Yes.
And of the story, too, that Rowan was a chef. They talked about all kinds of yummy
Yeah,
food.
they talked about a lot of food sex things. It's not my thing, but
Or
it
just
was
like,
interesting
just
how
food
they...
in general, like, made me happy. Like, I like food, you know. But, like, the sexy food times, that was pretty great, too. I don't know.
food is not my...
Oh, I love food. You don't like food?
No.
Just food in general? You don't like to eat? Well, that's what I said one of my love languages was, like, cooking for people.
Yeah,
you
it's
know?
not mine.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Anyway,
so she's
they
trying
keep
to
on
like
food.
make faces
she's
to
trying
him.
to, like...
So she's like trying to communicate through her face, like stop drinking.
Don't drink the stuff.
I was trying to think the whole time how I communicate with you, like.
I think like girls in general, like girlfriends, are really good at like having conversations with our eyes.
Yeah, I have a lot of friends that were just like, we'll make one eye contact, we're like, okay.
Yeah.
But know the full story now. But he's not getting it.
He is not getting it. And it
At
doesn't
all.
help that he's drinking this like drugged wine.
Yes.
And so he's like totally, and he says some really cute stuff.
He does. So he pretty much starts to like express his love to her and about how beautiful she is, and she's like, "Oh, he's so drugged up."
Yeah,
He doesn't
and
even know what he's
she
talking
totally has this like mega like flight reaction. She has a lot of insecurities that come from a lot of things in her background.
about. Yeah.
Anyway,
So they bring in the next course. It's beef
Niswas.
niswas. What is that?
This is a salad that's like traditionally made in France. Like this is how you would have a traditional salad in France.
Okay, so it's just like beef strips, or
There's like thin strips of like rare beef, sometimes tuna, I guess.
okay.
And then it's like hard-boiled eggs, green beans, sometimes asparagus, and like a Dijon or like
They talk about Dijon in here. Yeah.
you know, just like a regular, like kind of like a chef salad.
The beef is not beef.
No.
It's human meat.
Yes, which Sloane knows because she's done her research on this dude.
Yep.
Rowan has no idea because he has not done the research, and he's also super drugged up. So he's just like, oh, a beef niswa salad.
Yeah, he just keeps eating it, shoving his mouth
And
full of
she's
this
trying to
beef.
convey with him to her eyes, like, don't eat this fucking
What
salad.
are you doing?
And he's also drugged up, so he's like slow spawn, whatever.
And
And he's just like, oh, beef niswa. Like, whoa.
look at you spicing up with some Dijon mustard.
Gamey meat, yeah.
Gamey meat. That's
So
what
he
gamey
says,
meat.
he's like, oh, what is this? It tastes a little different. And this Thorsten guy is like, oh, well, I made my own homemade Dijon because the meat is a little bit more gamey. And Sloane, like, me, is just like, and like we are from Sloane's point of view, so we know like kind of what's happening, and we're just like, no, and he's just like, and he's getting more drugged at the same time. So
Yeah.
then he like passes out face
Yeah,
first.
he takes like one more bite of food, and then passes out halfway
With it, like,
chewing.
the meat like halfway out of his mouth. It's funny.
It was weird that I was laughing at
Because
this.
it's funny, yeah.
It was like,
It's gross and funny at the same time.
I was like, why am I
Brynne,
laughing at this?
Kudos to you.
You're a genius. So he's drugged out. He finally wakes up. And when
Yeah.
he wakes up, she's like trying to like finagle the other serial killer guy into her web that she creates.
she's making him into a. Oh, they call
Yeah.
her the orb weaver because she makes this cool like web out of like fishing line and pieces of bodies, and then she uses their eyes as like a key, basically.
It's not an orgasm eye thing. It's like a serial killer eye popping thing.
It's also a work of art. It's really cool.
So now they're having, after this guy is all pinned
So
up in
he
his
comes
web
to
thing.
as she's finishing her big web.
Yeah. So they kill him. It's fine. And then
They kill him. It's fine.
they go into the kitchen because that's where David is.
I love this too. It's so
The
like,
lobotomy guy.
The lobotomy guy, and he's just
Yeah.
sitting there eating some ice cream,
Yeah. So,
shuffling his legs
there.
around.
So
Sitting on
someone's
the
like,
counter, just
let's go see what David's doing. She's trying to break it to him that he's ate a person. He seems pretty harmless.
Then what's the problem?
He's eating in the kitchen.
I shake my head, not following what she's laying down.
The next course, the food.
And that's what most people eat, food. The color has drained from Sloane's face.
Yeah, most.
I don't get it.
You fucking ate a person! I love her so much.
She's so funny. Like, she's trying to be so delicate, and then she's just like, you ate a fucking person.
Yeah, just
Like,
deal with it.
Yeah.
So finishes up her masterpiece, the eyeless. He's
He's just like,
he
besotted
finally
with it.
pleads.
Oh,
do you want to
yeah.
do the plead? She's setting out her final moments of like setting him all up in this like web thing that she's created. And then she kind of goes off on kind of telling her story a little bit.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like empowering a little.
Yeah, it is.
So I was going to have you read that.
Okay. This man, he lured people in with promises of safety and care, only to deliver the opposite, she says as she stares down with disdain at Thorsten's shaking body. A lot like you, really. You lured us in with the promise of a meal and nice company, only to drug and deceive us. It just didn't work out entirely the way you hoped, did it? He says, I'm begging you, I'm sorry, truly, Did David beg you to stop when you decided to play lobotomy Barbie with his face?
Yeah.
I bet he pleaded with you, and you loved the sound. But the funny thing is, Mr. Carmichael, you and I have something in common. I'll tell you a little secret, she says. A devastatingly beautiful smile creeps across her lips as she leans close to his ear. I love the sound when my victims beg too. No, you don't understand. David, help me. His pleas for help go unanswered as Sloane backs away and returns to the table to exchange her scalpel for her Damascus blade. The Thorsten's head swings from one side to the next as he loses track of her whereabouts beneath his desperate, sputtering
He doesn't have
cries.
eyes at this point, right?
Right, no.
So he's like
can't
going around
see.
blindly?
Yeah. He can just hear, and he's like, but Sloane doesn't make a sound as she creeps.
Wait, what? What more time? Is that what an eyeless person does when they're being murdered?
He's like, sputtering. It says desperate, sputtering cries. Yeah.
Fair enough.
But Sloane doesn't make a sound as she creeps closer to her prey. She moves like an owl in flight, fluid and silent and graceful, predatory and powerful. The man you remind me of. He presented such a civilized mask to the world, yet underneath he was a devil. He promised the best education, the best opportunities for students gifted in the arts. He promised a safe place to learn and the best chance for getting into the most exclusive universities for those of us whose parents were wealthy enough to pay the price. And since mine were never around, they didn't notice the price I truly paid.
Oh, it's so sick. I'm glad she became a serial killer after she said that.
Fuck yeah.
I was like, yes, you go kill all those perverts.
Like an avenging angel.
She is. She's amazing. Everybody wants to be her. She's awesome. So after he dies, blah, blah, boo, boo, they go and find David. And he's in the kitchen, and they're kind of nervous to walk in there. And
he's just like swinging his legs around on the counter.
Yeah.
He's like a kid.
Yeah, so he's just eating ice cream and living his best life.
Scooping it out of the container, the counter.
Yeah.
Scooping it out of the counter.
Yeah. So Sloane grabs the ice cream and decides to tell him, Rowan, the ingredients that are listed on the back. The ingredients are, as stated.
It's all natural. Like, because Thorsten made a big deal about, like, the tomatoes in my salad are from my garden. Like, like, all natural. He's all, like,
this is all natural, all right.
Oh, yeah. It's so great.
Cream, sugar, milked, semen, April 10 to April 13.
And then she says, well, that's a nice alternative to salt.
And then Rowan starts vomiting into the sink. Ugh. That can't be real. That cannot be a substitute for salt. Do you see?
I mean, I don't think anybody's actually really done it, but for somebody who is a cannibal.
Do you think that semen could be a substitute for salt?
I mean, it's salty.
Yeah, but could it be a substitute?
In real life? I think.
Is there salt in semen? Because it tastes salty. Isn't there salt in it?
Okay.
On a chemistry standpoint, although we know what's in semen, what makes the saltiness of semen?
I don't know.
I stumped you.
Like
Alexa,
does it have the element
what
of
makes
salt?
semen salty?
Sorry, I don't know.
Alexa, you're a bitch.
Doesn't know. She doesn't like that. She doesn't like angry Penny.
I'm all kinds of feisty today.
Alexa, does semen have the salt element in it?
Good afternoon, Kelly. According to an Alexa Answers contributor, it has about 75 milligrams of sodium.
Oh!
Semen has about 75 milligrams of sodium in it.
Huh! The things you learn from swim books. Huh. Okay. Well, I guess semen does have a lot of salt in it. Thanks,
that's
Alexa.
salty, so I mean that would make sense. I've never heard of in real life anybody using it as a substitute for salt.
No.
I mean, who would say that in real life? I mean, you know.
Want to make some ice cream, Kelly?
We can make some ice cream. Some semen ice cream.
We'll put when we milked it.
I mean, really, in that body.
Well, after Rowan gets done puking everywhere again, because I probably would have too. I have a sensitive stomach when it comes to this stuff.
Did any parts of this book bother you?
No, because it was funny.
Because it was funny.
Yeah, she twisted it so it was so funny. But after he got done throwing up, Sloane begs Rowan to take David back to his restaurant.
Can't just leave him. And he's like, can't we just put him in like a hospital? Hey, pour this wine for me.
Okay.
Can't we just put him in like a... She's like giving the bottle a hand job.
Mm-hmm.
Can't we...
I'm milking the bottle.
Can't we just put him in like a hospital or something? And she's like, nope, give him a job.
Yeah. So
and he'll do anything for her.
I know. It is really sweet. Like anything she says, he's like, okay. It doesn't take much convincing for him. It's very sweet. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So they do that. He takes David back to him to the restaurant. He gets him all set up in this nice adult home.
She's like, look, he can do the dishes in the dishwasher. Yeah. He's great at that.
Great, great employee. So then we move on to the next year killing scene. Dun, dun, dun. So
75 milligrams per what?
Oh, let's test this out.
Yeah.
Okay, so we go on a whole another year later, and they're going after another serial killer. In between this, they're like romantic, and they're texting.
And they're cute. And
she shows up at his restaurant, but she runs away.
Yeah,
it's
she's
just
very close. She leaves a cute little drawing.
Yeah,
and cute.
It is really
very
cute.
Slow burn. Yeah.
It is a slow burn.
Mm-hmm.
So another year passes. They go into their next serial killer hunt. Mm-hmm. So they're in that. And they're after Harvey Mead. Mm-hmm. Dun, dun, dun. He's like a chainsaw.
This
killer.
reminded me a lot of like Texas Chainsaw.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So,
and did you?
Oh boy, here we go.
Did you know?
Did we know
that which this also harkens to this, so it all ties into.
I like how you came like so ready for this.
Okay, so Texas Chainsaw and also Norman Bates and also American Psycho, they were all sort of like based on, drew inspiration from an actual real life serial killer named Ed Gein? I don't know how to pronounce it. It's Gein. Okay. So this, if you want to, you probably won't ever do this. If you want to look into him, he's fucking bonkers. I think from the 50s. And it has a lot of that, like the skin wearing, the chainsaw type of stuff, like the mother issues, which a lot of serial killers have, and they talk about this in the book, like the overbearing, overprotective, like weird ass motherness. So there's a lot of the mother issues, I suppose, psychological issues. Ed Gein is a pretty well known, notorious like serial killer. Ed Gein or Gein, I don't know. I'm gonna say Gein. Who knows?
Who cares? He's a serial killer.
Anyway,
really
whatever. But Texas Chainsaw, American Psycho, and just Psycho, Norman Bates, were all based on this. When this guy shows up, that also reminded me of that, especially the Texas Chainsaw iteration. Him. So I got very excited.
Of course you did.
Of course.
Yeah. So they play rock, paper, scissors on who's going to go in the front door and who's going to go in the back door. And she knows after like kind of studying him, because she's a serial killer, she studies people. She knows he's going to pick rock. So she picks scissors, so she'll take the most dangerous route. Mm-hmm. It's really sweet.
Yeah. But also Rowan's freaking out because he doesn't want her to get in danger. And he knows that she can protect herself, but he's also like batshit in love with her. So he wants to protect her.
Yeah. So she goes in the front door, he goes in the back door, and she finds cameras that are set up. Well, not cameras, I guess monitors of cameras that are set up.
Well, she doesn't find that until later.
Oh, that's right. Because she goes in and she finds the mother that is like mummified.
It's mummified, yeah.
Yeah. So the mummified mother
very
just
much
sitting...
like Psycho Norman Bates. Because he has the mummified mom's corpse in her bed. That's from Psycho. Yeah. And so she's like sitting by the fireplace or something.
Something weird.
Yeah.
And then she finds the monitors with the cameras on it. And then
she's going through the whole house, can't find the guy, because he's already killed somebody. They heard the chainsaw happen. He has killed somebody.
The screams and all of that jazz. And so she sees on the monitor that Rowan is about to get attacked by the guy that she thinks he's going to get attacked.
And she's like, no!
But then she runs out to go save him and she runs right into him. Just collides. Not good.
Her face, she says, and I run face first into a boot.
So then she wakes up, because I think she went unconscious, it sounds like. She went unconscious and she's like rolling down a hill and he has like his foot on her face and like her shoulders all dislocated and maybe broken.
Yeah, she falls backwards and like smashes her shoulder and he's like dragging her through and it's raining. Of course it's raining.
Every horror scene has to have rain or thunderstorms.
He's dragging her through the dirt and the mud. It's like such a good, just horror movie, tropey, but in a great way.
Yeah. And so then he takes her and he puts her in the basement.
In the cellar. Of course.
And there's another girl in there, the girlfriend of the guy that just died.
Yeah.
And she is, of course, freaking out like any average
totally
human
naked
would do.
And this is also, kind of like Silence of the Lambs.
Yeah. Reps the lotion on the skin.
Yeah, like the girl who's in, the pit, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Totally naked and,
But he didn't take her cell phone. So Rowan texts her, is like, where are you? Yeah. And she's like, I'm in the cellar, come save me. So he runs, he comes and saves her.
He comes in, He's with an axe.
Yeah, he does.
Like Lizzie Borden style.
He doesn't even open it, he just whacks it open with an axe. Because he's a hot fucking shit man.
Hot fucking shit flicker.
So he pulls her out. But he leaves the other girl in there.
Yeah, the girl's in the fucking hysteria. Oh, and Rowan gives her...
Which, who wouldn't be? In all, an average person's mind, who would not be freaking the fuck out?
Exactly. But then he's which makes sense. He doesn't want to traumatize this girl more than it is. So he's just stay the fuck there. Someone else will come get you. But he doesn't do it because he's a fucking serial killer. He doesn't do a good job of communicating that. He's just
Kelly and her communicating.
he's just shut the fuck up and stay there until it's done. And this hysterical girl can't figure out.
Because she's an average human being who would be.
Yeah.
So he takes Sloane and they go around the corner and they have this passionate kiss.
They're in the barn. He takes her to the barn. Oh,
that's right. He's in the barn and they have this passionate romantic kiss.
They finally get to their...
I like you and you like me. We love each other.
They finally break down the walls and it's they finally... I was like...
Thank God.
And
thank
the
God.
whole time I was like, they're gonna fucking do some shit in inappropriate circumstances and it's gonna be fucking awesome.
But all they did was kiss.
And then that's all they did was kiss. Because they hear a chainsaw.
They do. They hear a chainsaw, and he's coming into the barn.
Well, it's because the girl got
out. Oh, that's right. The girl got out. Like, she's
the girl got
running.
Out because what else would you do if the cellar's open? You're gonna get yourself out of there.
But any logical human
you're not
being,
just gonna be like, okay, I'll be quiet.
Yeah, and you're probably a logical person are gonna scream for help as you're running.
Try to get yourself out of there. Yeah. So she's out like the end of Texas Chainsaw. She's out and running and screaming her fucking head off.
And she runs right into the barn.
And dude's chasing her with a chainsaw. It's a chainsaw.
So, they go into the barn. Or she goes into the barn and he follows her. And so then he's like, Sloane, stay there, I'll take care of it. And he goes out with his axe and he's like, wachoo, and
gets him in the kneecap.
It was so fucking cool. Just knocked him the fuck out. It was, well, I didn't knock him out, but he knocked him down a couple times.
He just went at him with the fucking axe.
Yeah, and then he kicks the chainsaw away. I think chainsaw's gone. Either way.
And then incapacitates him, just
Yeah.
Actually, Lizzie Borden style.
Oh, so cool.
It was awesome.
I kind of wish Sloan would have done it.
Mm-hmm.
But she does something even better.
Yeah.
So, Sloan goes back into the house. And she grabs the mummified mom.
Because she's like, well, she said, I want to turn at him.
Yes.
So she's like, leave him, don't kill him completely. I get a turn because they had made that deal.
So she brings it back out.
It's awesome.
And she starts at his feet
Like
with the
creeping
little
up with the
creep
mom.
hands, like, "Meh. You've
Mom.
been a bad boy.
Corpse is crawling up his legs. And she says all this whack shit
Yeah, what
to
did
him.
she say?
Like creepy ass,
Where
like
is
weird
it?
stuff to him.
Oh my gosh, I was laughing so hard.
Because she knew that he had obviously like a Norman Bates. There's some good.
Oh, you've been a terrible bad boy, Harvey.
He's like creeping up his body.
Good boys don't chop people up with chainsaws.
Do you imagine that? Like you're pinned down, you're like chopped with an axe in
my
your
gosh.
like your knee, and then he chopped him somewhere else too, and then your mom's mummified corpse is
Oh, there's
crawling
more.
up your body. I know, she keeps going.
I think you deserve to be punished. Hold on, son. I just want to crawl inside and have a look around.
Look around. Have a look around. That's when she's like up by his mouth.
Oh,
And then
my
the
gosh.
dude,
He has a heart attack.
yeah.
She scared him so bad.
She was like, "Aw, I wanted to play some more." And Rowan's like, "I think you literally scared him to death."
It was so funny.
Yeah.
I loved it so much. So they kill him. It's all good. Her arm is all
Bullshit.
dislocated. She has bruises all over her
Yeah,
face.
yeah, yeah.
So he's going to take her to see his brother.
Yeah. So he's like, "You need a doctor. I can't fix this on my own."
So drive, fun. They get there. So after her brother fixes her up, they end up staying at his house. So there's only one extra bed. So guess who has to share a bed?
One bed trope. Yeah, that's why Rose is important.
I love the one bed trope.
Yes.
It's the best.
It's the best. Oh, sucks to be you. You two have to share a bed.
Oh man. So they do. She just falls asleep like right away, but she's in so much pain and everything's going on. So she wakes up a couple hours later and she's like, I feel so gross and yucky, like I need to take a bath. And so he's like, okay, I'll run you a bath. And so he does what any upstanding guy would do. Undresses her. And then helps her into the bathtub. He's having a hard time holding himself together. He's hard. He's trying to hold everything together. So then he's like nervous about it too, and she grabs his hand.
She finally is like, "Okay, dude." Like she's finally like,
I'm ready. And so she grabs his hand and she puts it on her chest. And then she guides it all the way down. But when he gets there...
he's like, "What the fuck is that?"
Yeah, she has 4 piercings down there. Okay, so I have a question about the piercings.
Yeah.
So there was one on her clit. I know, I don't understand why that one is.
Yeah.
And there's 2 on her labia. I know where labias are.
And they're like bar piercings.
But there was another one.
Yeah.
What was that one? I didn't want to Google it because I didn't want that to show up on all my ads.
Oh, why not? It's like in the flap of the vulva.
The flap of the that's like inside?
But not everybody has that flap. That not everyone has that little flap that you can access to get pierced.
Okay, I'm going to find out what it
Frechette.
is called. It is called frechette?
Mm-hmm.
So
and
you
there's
have
a little flap
you
of
have
skin.
your parts, your lady parts. It's all like
I like all this like stuff that we're doing here.
her vulva thing. So it's like inside of her vulva?
There's like a little flap right on the like.
Okay, vulva.
I know. I'm like, and there's like a little like.
There's a flap of extra. Some people have a flap of
Some
extra.
people have a little flap that you can get pierced, but not everybody has that flap that's accessible.
So why does some people have it and some people don't?
It's just anatomy.
So what
It doesn't-
happens if you get it pierced? Is it in the okay? So is it closer to your butthole or
No, I
closer to the front?
I think it's closer to the front. I'm not 100%.
Okay, well I'll look it up on Google.
Yeah.
So I'm not getting it pierced though. So then after that, after he feels all the piercings down there, he's like, "Get out the fucking bath!
Yeah.
Like we're done." Like, this is enough.
This is so great.
You know, and he just like carries her soaking wet to the bed, and he's like, lay down. And she's like, I'll get the bed wet. And he's like, I don't fucking care.
Yeah.
Lay down. So she does.
And then I love this. He just goes, show me.
She's like, what? And he's like, spread your legs. And so she like does it a little bit, and he's like, more. Just a little bit more.
More.
She's like, all the way up to her ears. He makes all these promises to her, like he's gonna make her scream because she's worried because there's other people in the house, and he's like, I'm gonna make you scream so the neighbors will hear. I'm gonna fuck you here. I'm gonna fuck you here. Blah 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 blah. Then he says,
her arousal perfumes the air. She pleads for more. She begs me not to stop. And I don't. Not for a single second. I firm my grip around her throat with one hand, press my fingers to her clit in circles with the other, and slam into her. Over and over until she cries out my name and clenches around my erection as she comes apart. And I'm right behind her. An electric current rolls across my spine and my balls tighten and I'm spilling into her, shaking. My heart a riot of deafening drums in my ears. I push as deep as she can take me, and relish the flutter of her pussy as it milks every drop of cum. I want to stay buried here, to gather her up and press Sloane's sweat-slicked body against mine as I fall asleep with her cunt wrapped around my cock. And I will.
so then they both come, fireworks, sprinkles, sparkles,
Gold stars. Oh,
gold stars for everyone.
her friend Lark loves to give people gold stars.
Yeah,
gold
he
star
gets one
tits.
right in the middle of his forehead
Gold star
and
tits.
on his nipples.
Oh, her nipple. She gives her
What?
gold stars on her tits.
We'll give gold stars on nipples, on foreheads, on clits, on everywhere, on the head of the
gold
penis.
stars
We'll just-
everywhere.
They're all glittering in gold stars because finally it happened. We're so happy.
Oh my god, and it's so fucking good.
But then,
Holy shit, but this scene, damn.
oh, but it gets better. Like this was like my oh my gosh.
Yeah, this whole...
So-
once the sex starts happening,
It's like ah. So he like suctions her mouth to his pussy and
his mouth to her pussy.
yes, that's what his mouth to her pussy. He like
This
suctions
is so
it,
good.
and then he makes her come again. So she like contracts. So she pushes all of his semen and all of her cum into his mouth.
Their combined
Yeah,
spend.
into his
Which is
mouth.
such a weird...
That isn't sexy at all, Kelly.
No, it's they're like... So he gets all of their...
He sucks it like a straw.
all of... I'm going to say splooge.
His splooge.
He gets all of her splooge and all of his up in his mouth. And then he does the
And then he prowls.
super sexy prowl up her body.
Everybody loves
we do this.
Yeah, he prowls right up her.
And
And then
then
he tells her to open her mouth. So she opens it.
it's in her mouth and tells her swallow.
It was a swallow. It was a swallowing good time.
It was a swallowing good time.
It was good. All the readers were happy.
So good.
It was good.
Mhm.
That was good stuff. And so after she swallows, they go into like a teeth clashing.
Just like a ravenous primal
Yeah.
claiming.
Yeah. And I still want to know, we did this in the first episode, if anyone's chipped a tooth clashing their teeth.
Yeah, because
kissing.
I had told Penny that I had done teeth clashing kissing.
Yeah.
But I have not chipped any teeth.
I want to know if someone's chipped their teeth.
But I don't
clashing
know
their
if
teeth
anyone
during makeup.
else has chipped teeth.
There has to be somebody. Somebody has to have chipped a tooth. I just want to hear the story.
Yeah, we just want to hear the chipping teeth stories.
Yeah.
If it's happened. I have not had that happen to
It
me.
has to have happened. Somewhere.
I don't know.
Somebody.
Could you imagine going to the dentist and being
Like, how did you chip your tooth? Well,
funny
after he
story.
spit his cum and my cum in my mouth, we started picking out, and I was
with our combined splooge in my mouth?
probably could see remnants of it.
Yes. Also, sidebar: is that true that you can see? The
Yes. Can you tell? Can you tell I swallowed?
Can you tell? I totally swallowed. It was great. Then we had this ravenous primal kiss, and then we just like
And we just kissed, and it just like
just,
collided.
like, collided, and it was so hard.
That this chip
and
tooth is
just
100%
like,
worth it.
Chip the tooth right off.
Yeah.
And would you just one person chip the tooth, or do you think it was a combined chipping?
I want to know.
What would you think would happen in your mind?
See, the thing is, in my mind, like, the teeth are like graters. So it would be like, it would just like, It doesn't sound very sexy to me. Like, have you ever like knocked your tooth? It hurts. Like it's like. Well, she likes the head pain, I guess.
Do you like the?
So we come to the final chapter.
Oh my God, we're at the final chapter already. I love this book so much. I
know. So they move into Boston.
Boston. You gotta make your mouth go Boston.
Boston. So he opens another restaurant called Butcher and Blackbird.
Aw, it's
really
so
sweet.
cute.
They have lots of sex in the restaurant.
All the little
It's great.
details about it is so cute.
Yeah. He's stressed out because he's opening this whole other restaurant up. And so he's not.
Yeah, and the other restaurant is like that he had already has all kinds of weird shit happening to it.
Yeah, so he's just really stressed out, and there's a lot of things going on. So he tells Sloane, like, hey, meet me at his old restaurant at 4 o'clock and let's go out to dinner or whatever. So he's there a little early because he's going to check something out, and David is there, lobotomy guy, and he's just sitting in the corner, just
He gave him
chilling.
a dishwashing job.
Yeah. No one took him home, so he's like, hey, I'm going to fix this. When Sloane gets here, I'll take you home. No big deal. So, fixie, goes into a back room. Then,
Fixie.
gun, right at his head. Turns around. It's David!
What?
He actually knows things!
David can talk.
He can talk, and he knows what's going on, and he's a serial killer
Yes.
cannibal too. So anyways, he said, I know Sloane is coming. You need to get rid of her or else I'm going to kill her too. So Sloane comes in and he is trying to like tell her like code words like about the ice cream and like other things to try to point
And
at
he's
David.
like being like brutally awful to her. It's like the whole like
I don't like you, move away.
like the Moulin Rouge thing where it's like I'm being like incredibly cruel to you to get you to go away.
So she runs away crying because I don't blame her. He was pretty harsh.
He was pretty
He was
bad.
getting her away though because he didn't want her to get killed. And so she gets back to his place, so she starts packing up her stuff, and then it all clicks. Like, oh my gosh, it's David. David is causing a problem.
He used the dates of the semen.
Who remembers that?
The
A serial
semen
killer and
milking.
Kelly.
Yeah.
That's who remembers that.
I mean,
my
that
gosh.
was pretty traumatizing to him, I guess, apparently, because he still can't eat ice cream, I guess.
So she puts it all together. She calls his brother, like, hey, find out how much stuff you can find out on David while I run to the restaurant. So she's running. And he's already there, tied up, all beaten up and scratched up or whatever.
Oh, yeah. He's like, and like, David's got the mandolin there to like fillet pieces of his skin off, and he's eating it in front of him.
Oh my gosh!
He tries to make him eat his own skin.
No. I was going to skip over that part.
Oh,
but
yeah,
Kelly
sorry.
wanted to go right into it.
Hey.
Well, then he stabs him in the leg with a screwdriver.
His wrist.
So he stabs him, screwdriver's lodged into his wrist, and then Sloane walks in with a gun.
Oh, she steals David's gun.
Oh, that's right, she does. So she has David's gun pointed right at David. Talkie. And then she's trying to like tell him that all of the security cameras haven't been shut off. They're still.
Well, yeah, because Sloane installed her own security camera.
Yeah, because she's a badass.
So he's like, I like turned off all of the video feeds, and she's like, well, you didn't do mine, motherfucker.
So then she's pointing the gun at him. Okay, you point the gun at me and I'll pretend to be David. And so David grabs the gun, but she don't really hit me.
I don't.
Boom! And then like, boom! And then he goes down, and then bang, bang, she kills him. He's dead. No more David. Gone like the wind, David.
David's
No
gone like the
more.
wind.
No more.
Yeah, so David says that he like totally like just straight up pretended to be lobotomized. Eating that milk spend ice cream.
Oh my gosh.
Just like whatever.
It was disgusting. Yeah. And then, so David's dead.
Yep.
And then Rowan starts to apologize. And the epilogue.
She gives him shit for a while, but it's great.
Yeah. He proposes to her while they're killing someone.
Best. How funny is this that it's like a straight up like disgusting proposal, but everyone is like, oh, it's so cute.
It's so messed up. It's like the messed up rom-com I've ever read.
It's so cute.
And he asks her to marry him, and she says yes. And the story.
And the
is
bonus
done.
chapter is amazing too.
Yeah.
There's a little bonus chapter that's hilarious and like deranged, and it's great.
Oh my gosh. It was a good book. I was so happy I waited for this book. I love it. It's so
great.
good.
Yay! And it's the first in a trilogy, so
Yay! It's so fun. I loved it.
yeah. Next week. We have Ariana, right?
We do
Is that
have
next week?
Ariana?
Yes, Ariana St. Clair. Woo!
It'll be fun.
So fun. We're
She's
so
so
excited.
nice.
She's great.
Yay!
Cheers. Oh yeah.
Cheers.
Yay!
Oh.
That was weird.
Mm-hmm.